I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call of Alderman.
Alderman Hazel. Alderman Kinsella. Here. Alderman Pusa.
Here.
Alderman Bittner. Here. Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Tyler.
Here.
Alderman Anthony.
Here.
Alderman Ovian. Alderman Silsby.
Here.
Alderman Dillman.
Here.
Alderman Seibert.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Alderman Galetti.
Aye.
Alderman Elmore.
Here.
Alderman Wigington.
Here.
Alderman Musgrove.
Here. Hazel's here.
Okay, Hazel's here and Alderman Ovian is excused. Roll call department heads.
City Treasurer Harth.
Here.
City Attorney Horner. Police Chief Clay.
Here.
Fire Chief Poor. Ken Vaughn. Royce Carlisle.
Here.
Jamie Matrid.
Here.
Tim Gregowitz. Jim Schneider.
Here.
Leander Spearman.
Here.
Anissa McCaskill.
Here.
Chuck Schaefer. Debbie Belleville. Bob Sabo.
Here.
Okay, Debbie Belleville's excused. Mike Parks is here for Chuck Schaefer. Our assistant city attorney is here for Garrett tonight. Ryan Flynn's here. I think that's everyone.
Chief Jacobs is here before.
Oh, Chief Jacobs, I forgot. I saw you walk in. Yeah, he's here for Chief Poor, who's off today. Okay, at this time, would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to this regular city council meeting, October 3rd, 2016. Just real quick, we got a few new faces here. If we had to leave the building because of smoke or fire, heaven forbid, we'd ask that you'd go to the closest exits. There's several of them marked, and safely get outside, and then we'd like to meet in front of the steps of the building next door, the auditorium, so we can kind of look around and make sure we feel like the people sitting next to us all got out. If we had a storm, we'd ask that you go to the basement and get into the middle hallways where there's no windows, or the bathrooms, probably the best place, and protect yourself in those locations. Remember tonight, when we have public participation, our aldermen, please use the microphones for the benefit of the taping so that the audio can be heard. And when I call on you, we'll have a microphone that I'll hand up here if you choose to speak tonight. And after you're recognized, give your name and try to keep your remarks to about 3 minutes. At this point in time, we have no public hearing, so public participation, I will open public participation. Anyone this evening like to speak? Yes, sir. Go ahead. First one.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ted Harris. I'm a retired Fairview Heights police officer. I'm here to speak tonight about my good friend, John Bruff. I met John while he was an O'Fallon police officer many years ago. John then joined the police department, served 22 years, where he attained the rank of sergeant. Friendship with John continued over the years, and we served as undercover narcotic agents together with the Metropolitan Enforcement Group of Southwestern Illinois. As you all know, John was seriously wounded in the line of duty after being shot in the face with a shotgun by a double homicide suspect. That resulted in John's disfigurement and permanent blindness. John will also suffer a lifelong series of medical problems as a result of his wounds. After John recovered sufficiently from his wounds, he has been very active in the community. He is involved with the 9/11 Memorial at the firehouse. He speaks at their classes. He sponsors a blood drive. He's a member of the Blue Knights Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club. That's us. And he has spoken at various law enforcement training and seminars. John has the most positive attitude of anyone I know. He doesn't dwell upon his disability and rarely speaks about it unless he's asked about it. John is full of life, not self-pity. If you know John, you cannot help but be inspired by him. This coming November 10th marks the 10-year anniversary of the shooting. A of all the accolades and help that John has received from the police department and the city, John has never been formally awarded any type of official commendation, medal, or letter of appreciation. John is as much deserving of such recognition as any member of the military who returns home wounded in combat. They at least receive a Purple Heart. That being said, we ask that the city proclaim November 10th, henceforth, as Sergeant John Bruff Day to honor one of the city's most courageous and dedicated police officers. I also ask that on every November 10th, a banner be flown over Main Street stating, "God bless Sergeant Bruff and all our police officers."
Thank you for your comments. I'd just like to respond that a couple of us just had a conversation recently about the fact that it was the 10th anniversary, and we were just talking about the fact that the council, so we will be making, as we get closer to the date of November, we'll look at the closest council meeting, and Chief and I had some conversation in my office just in the last couple of weeks. Chief?
John, thank you. Wendy. First of all, I would like to say that Sergeant Bruff was recognized by the Belleville Police Department. So I don't know where you are, but he was recognized by us, and we did it through the state, through the Illinois State Police. We went to Springfield and actually recognized him with a wonderful ceremony. Wendy was there, and a good sergeant was there. Having said that, sir, I am not opposed to more acknowledgement and ceremonies and whatever they may be for this man. Sergeant Bruff was my field training officer for a short time, and I was with him when I first started this police department. He brought me to his family in 1995, Christmas. He brought me to his home. So we have recognized this good sergeant, and we will continue to do so. And if there is more to be done, we will certainly do that. Sergeant Bruff has absolutely more courage than I would ever have in a situation like this. I don't know how to react, but he has done remarkable things, both he and Wendy. And I applaud them, I respect them, and whatever we need to do as a city, as a police department, this mayor and this chief are willing and able to do.
But I assure you that your words are well listened to, and I don't remember who the heck it was, just in the last 2 weeks, and we talked about getting John back here. I didn't know he'd be here tonight, but because 10 years has been a long time, but it's been a real long time for John and Wendy, we know that. And
So we applaud you, sir.
no, standing up. You have something else? Yes, sir.
Well, as of an hour ago, John did not know this was happening.
Okay.
We went out to dinner, and that's when I dropped it on him.
Well,
And I apologize for the mistake. I know he got something from the state. I thought that was strictly through.
That was through our police department.
My
We
apologies.
really admire you.
well, that's okay, but
My
we're
apologies.
happy,
That's not
you're
it.
looking out.
Hey, let's give him some more. Let's give him some more. We're not gonna
And
fight over it.
recognizing the 10th anniversary, while it's sad, it's good. Well, thank you. We will certainly, we'll keep you posted if you, Wendy, they know how to get a hold of you, so
Yes, sir.
we'll let you know what we're gonna do.
Yes, sir.
So there's some things, okay? Who else would like to speak in public participation? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, here.
My name is Lillian Schneider, I live in 219 Kansas Avenue, Belleville, Illinois. I really didn't know if I was going to say anything about this tonight or not, but back earlier in the year, I had a meeting for our Kansas Avenue Neighborhood Watch at Jefferson School, concerning the big tank that was put in to take over the overflow when the heavy rains would come so that they wouldn't have to put out the pumps. And at that meeting, my residents and I was assured that there would be trees planted around the big tank. Now I have been informed it is not going to happen. And I would like for the city to do some kind of recognition in the paper so that the people know that it was not my fault. This was promised to the people because these are the trees that are supposed to be replanted that was taken out from the Shrine Development Dole. I don't even call it a development anymore, it's nothing but a big plot. There should have been a record of how many trees that were taken out, the value of those trees, because this is not a city ordinance, because I filed a FOIA. We're supposed to have a tree ordinance, a tree committee. Well, that's like a two-man pony show now. We don't even have it, and there's supposed to be different people appointed for 5-year terms, and it has not ever happened. So I am requesting the city to state why they are not going to put those trees up anymore this fall. It's too late now, but they were promised. And that just goes to show how this, because it's the developer from the Shrine that has to replace these trees, and it is a state thing, not a city. And if we don't have this tree arbor committee and then Royce, the wastewater sewer development, I think it's a pretty bad situation when you have an ordinance and you don't even have the committee there. And these people were promised these trees. And the rest of them should go throughout the city somewhere. This is going to be just like, yeah, you got a hotel coming. No, you don't have a hotel coming. No, you got a convenience store coming. It's wrong.
Okay. I will promise you, I will look into this. I thought they were still coming this fall, because you don't plant, Jason's nodding his head, you don't plant trees until the month of October. And then last spring, when the other good planting time for trees, correct, Jason?
But this was
Hey, you want to
spent,
respond? Yeah, let's let Jason respond. Let's clear this up right now. Because I think there's some misinformation or confusion here.
I'm not sure where you were born, but yes. The city is working with the Shrine Development. There's going to be a tree remediation, tree mitigation
Who is all
program
on
is
this
taking place.
committee?
Okay, hold it.
Okay, I'm working with Kaskasky Engineering. That's who is the developer or the engineer for the plan. They're getting a proper permit through the IDOT, through Illinois Department of Transportation. There are trees slated to go to the Hecker water tower. I can share with you the plans if you like.
but they were supposed to have been done this fall.
Well, the project was just done, Royce, when was it all wrapped up? How long ago? The tank? 4 months, 5 months?
4 or 5 months ago.
And it's just now is the good planting time for trees, so that they don't die. October is the best time, right?
Yes, correct.
Who are these people? I filled out a FOIA. Who
Who
are
are
the
the-
people on the committee?
I can't speak to the committee. All I can tell you is
There is nobody.
And
there
I'm-
are plans. There's a tree mitigation
Well, then
plan,
somebody-
and I will be happy to share them with you for all the different locations that the trees are going to be planted.
Somebody from the city needs to report to the East End neighbors over there.
But we
I
will-
met
we
with
will-
Royce and we spoke with the guy that lives right there by the Hacker Street Tower.
Yeah, but I was just informed by Royce that it's not going to happen no more this year.
Okay,
I'm
I will
not
tell you this.
sure.
I know for a fact, as we talked, we're gonna be planting some trees. I know the remainder of them, possibly, we're gonna try to get permission to take them down to the memorial for the 9/11, correct? We talked about that the other day, Tim and I did, I went to the 9/11. So I know that the trees situation still is in the works. I'll get to the bottom of it, then we'll have a news release to explain to the public, we'll get it to Mike Kozatek, exactly what the outcome. But the trees should be planted by the end of this month.
I'll be happy to share the plan with you. I can email it to you and it shows you all the different locations. of the
And
trees.
it is true,
I've been working with Kaskasky recently on the different locations.
we have not had a tree committee in a number of years. We usually worked with the park department officials and the park board. But, you know, it's something maybe we need to revisit, but it hasn't been something that we've had for a long time. So, okay, thank you, and we'll get on that, okay? Back there, yes, sir.
Valentine Street. Went to Vietnam to fight commies, but now realize the real dangers of our freedom is American liberals. I tried to get a gun permit, and in recognition of service to my country, I was labeled a danger to myself and others and to public safety. I was told that people that pass out those labels so freely were using even jaywalking against a person trying to get a permit. I have no idea what they are trying to do, as gun permits are not needed in Chicago or East St. Louis or any other big city, and they all seem to have plenty of guns. Timothy McVeigh, as far as I know, never had a gun permit. The police station seems to be much bigger than needed, but Bank of Belleville wanted a smaller bank and knew where to find a sucker to unload that white elephant on. And the Meredith home, the Bel Air bowling alley building, the Edgemont building, and Calhoun Park, and the Hitler Beer Hall are all basically a cesspool of all your money goes down a drain is what it all happens. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Stuart. Yes, sir. Here, Stuart, just pass the microphone to this gentleman right here.
Hi, my name is Phil Weiss. I'm from Weiss Mining way out on West Main. I want to really express my gratitude and appreciation for having West Main repaired down there at the bottom of the hill. I know everybody that is going to be going on the new 157 bridge is really appreciative of that. I know our aldermen have been working on that. It's been a state project, I've been told, but we really appreciate it finally getting taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else? That gentleman right there.
Rick Brown, Belleville. Gotta admit, Mayor, you're good. You know, you showed at the Legal and Ordinance Committee meeting. They watched the video, saw faces, heard sound, and you talked the committee into saying that didn't say what it said it said. You know, gotta give you that. You could sell a blind man a pair of glasses. But here's the thing. The other day we got this Belleville paper that comes out that's put out by the mayor's office. I asked for one simple thing at the Ordinance and Legal Review Committee. Tell the people of this city what requires an inspection and what is the requirement to get on the occupancy permit. All I heard was, well, we use discretion. So now, with the Belleville rag here, you know, now the mayor pokes his finger in the eye of all the citizens and gives half a 3/4 of a page here on what's required and what are the intricacies of a business occupational permit.
That's a business one. That was different than what you talked about.
I understand that, but the businesses, the guys you like to give a lot of the city's money to, you're letting them know what is required for an occupancy permit, but the citizens of Belleville, many of them, don't know it until they get a ticket. And it's not published anywhere. This city needs to publish standards as clear as this for occupancy permits and what is required for an inspection. And I can't believe you got Garrett Horner to say that our inspectors can come into people's homes and without search warrants. That's the nuttiest thing I've ever seen. Every lawyer I told that to just laughed about it. So, anybody else?
Anyone else this evening?
Mayor.
Hang on just a second. Let's close public participation now. Going to close public participation. Alderman Wigginton, you have a comment.
I think at that meeting that night, Garrett Harner was speaking on his own accord. The mayor, the chair of that committee, nobody else put any words in city attorney's mouth. He knows the ordinances, he knows the regulations. He stated his case very well. He had the facts to back it up. And to say that anybody put any words in anybody's mouth offends me, and I don't appreciate it.
All righty. Hearing none, we'll get back to the agenda here and move on. At this time, I want to call two young ladies forward. Now that they've had this chance to see democracy here, we've got two ladies from the Basic Youth Board, Kayla Bell and Stephanie Stock, who are you both from Belleville West?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to come forward and tell us a little bit about this month's Word of the Month. And we'll get you the microphone again. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, ladies.
I'm Kayla Bell, and this is Stephanie Stock, and we're on the Belleville Youth Basic Board, and our word of the month this month is responsibility. Responsibility is basically owning up to what you've done, or kind of taking control of, like being a leader for someone. Like we're being leaders for the community. We're representing the youth, like in the high schools, and we took responsibility to come here and to tell you about responsibility. And some examples that I thought of just now. But it's just like when your parents ask you to clean your room or watch your sisters or brothers, you have to take responsibility and listen to what you're told, and to, it's the willingness to be accountable for your actions without blaming others as well.
Ladies, I thank you very much. What do we have basically, girls? About 10 or 12 from each school, at least? About 12 from each school. And they were at my office last week and came to visit. And this is a very sharp and very caring group of high school students who do a lot of outstanding community service for citizens in Belleville. They have raised a lot of money for local charities, but they also go to the schools and do an awful lot of mentoring with the young students. And I really applaud them, and thank you for coming here again tonight, ladies. Okay, as we move forward, we get to the regular portion of the minutes with the approval of the minutes. We have the City Council meeting from September 19th. Do I hear a motion to accept and file? Motion by Jane, second by Mike Bittner, to accept and file the minutes. Alderman Kinsella?
I do have 3 corrections I'd like to make.
Okay.
For those of you who are following along on the actual pages, the first one is page 3 of 10, or if you're looking at the total package we got, it's 8 of 59. And it's concerning Stuart Leonard's statements last meeting. The last sentence reads, "What did he do to be called a threat to public safety?" Mr. Leonard asked if he should go out and blow up buildings. Mayor Eckert admonished Mr. Leonard regarding his comments. I think that it would be much clearer if it said his last comment, because you did not admonish him on the other comments. So I recommend we changed it to his last comment about blowing something up.
Okay, this is your suggestion, okay.
The second one is page 6 of 10. If you'll follow along, or page 11 of 59 if you're in the big book. And this one has to do with Mr. Kennedy's statement, the second paragraph. Mr. Kennedy stated to ease some minds regarding the $81,000. It is actually, and it was inaudible, I did not hear that either, since they brought the equipment from a company in Illinois. The number is not as large as it appears. What he said is since they could not buy all the equipment. So buying it in Illinois would get them $81,000, but they couldn't get it all in Illinois.
All right. Okay, I heard that clarification. I guess I can study the minutes real well. Your last point?
The last one is page 9 of 10, and it is simply a double negative. And it is on page 14 of 59 if you're doing it that way. And it says communications from pictures. It said, to the last sentence in that paragraph, to the best of their knowledge, no neighbors have no objection. And I think it should be, to the best of their knowledge, neighbors have no objection. It's a double negative. It was in that way the last month, and I didn't catch it either. So those are just some things to be.
Well, we expected of you. You were an English teacher.
Yes, I.
Okay, do the people who made the motions, do you accept those 3 adjustments? With that said, we have a motion. Yes, sir.
Also on page 7 of 10, members voting aye on roll call, Bittner and Tyler. That should be members voting nay.
Yeah, we got that.
Oh, okay, much. Aye.
Oh.
Yeah, that was on the vote pertaining to
Meredith Almond.
Meredith, no. There was 2 noes. Okay, with those adjustments, I ask for the vote on accepting and filing the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We move on to the claims, payroll, and disbursements. I'd ask for a motion to pay the claims in the amount of $3,683,986.33, and the payroll in the amount of $867,290.32. Motion by Alderman Wiggington, second by Alderman Glady. Any discussion?
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Under TIF 3, the Sonoma capital or development for $275,000. Is that the grant payment for the development?
Yes, she's nodding her head yes.
I thought under the agreement that they had to invest or spend $1 million before that grant payment was going to be made.
They had to incur $1 million worth of charges, and they submitted all the paperwork.
Can you tell me what the $1 million was?
I don't have it.
Is the cost of the buying the building
No.
part of that?
No. There's some parking lot repairs that they have contracts on, there's roof repairs, there's
Building code, mitigation, all sorts of issues that have to be addressed in order to.
And they're out there working already.
Have they incurred these costs? They've
Yes,
incurred
sir,
$1
they
million
have,
in
and we
costs?
received the paperwork.
And I understand it's actually almost $1,100,000 that they've already incurred in expenses and contracts in the works.
Okay. Well, I'm very confident in the staff that Jamie's about as particular as could be about that, so I know that they had approved her before that she released anything, so, but it's a fair question, good question, but I'm very confident that she's following that by the T. So we have a motion and we have a second to approve the claims and the payroll and disbursements. Are there no further questions? I'd ask for a roll call vote.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Pusa.
Aye.
Bittner. Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dillman. Seibert. White. Galletti.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Wiggington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Motion carries. At this time, we have oral reports. I'd ask for a motion to read by, for the Zoning Board of Appeals. You want to go ahead and read that case?
Yes. 11A1, case 34, September 16. Grappa Growlers requesting to rezone the property at 1501 North Belton West from A1 Single Family Residence District to C2 Heavy Commercial District. Applicable portion of zoning code 60-6-1 through 60-6-7 and 60-6-47 through 60-6-52 in Ward 3. It's recommended for approval 7-0.
I ask for a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Randall, second by Alderman Tyler to approve this and have the proper ordinance drawn. If there's no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administration, ask for a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding, the MOU between the City of Belleville Police Department and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council on behalf of, with the Belleville Police Department dispatchers and secretaries, FOP Lodge number 226-2, bargaining unit. First of all, I'd ask for a motion to put this on the floor. Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Kinsella. I don't know if you have any initial questions, or if there's no questions, I won't ask the chief to comment. Are there any particular concerns with this?
What's it concern?
Chief, what's your concern? Alderman Bittner.
Don't look at me, I don't have it.
We just need to buy another one.
Well, he looked.
Okay. This memorandum of understanding is merely an agreement to add the fourth year to the dispatchers and the secretaries. What happened was the dispatchers and the secretaries were the trailblazers. They were the first ones to enter into agreements or to negotiations with the city of Belleville. They actually laid out the blueprint or the template, if you will, for how all of the other unions, and what we have 9 of them there, followed behind them. But what they did, being the first in the ring, they did a 3-year. And everybody else followed with the police officers who came after the dispatchers, and the police did a 4-year. And so what we want to do is not penalize the trailblazers or the people who actually set this up, which are the dispatchers and the secretaries, and they did what they did. So we want to give them that 4th year, as we have with all of the other 8 unions.
And this has happened before.
Right, and it's happened before. Our failure to do anything differently would make sure that people sat on the sidelines, they would not enter negotiations.
Nobody want to go first?
Who wants to go first? So they
Makes sense?
did a wonderful thing.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chief. So with that, we do have a motion and a second to approve this memorandum of understanding. I call for a roll call vote as soon as he passes the mic back.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Pusa.
Aye.
Bittner.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Sillsby.
Aye.
Dillon.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Maletti. Elmore.
Aye.
Wiggington.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. This time I'd ask for a motion to approve a solicitor's license request from Charles I. Richards from Edward Jones. Motion by Alderman Elmore. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Wiggington. Do I hear discussion? All in favor of approval of this license?
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
I'm going to have to abstain.
Okay. One abstention, Alderman Randall. All in favor of approving this license request signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Traffic Committee, Alderman White.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. First motion would be to create no parking on the north side of North Church Street, going from Lucinda to Sherman, and have the proper ordinance drawn. So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Alderman White. Do I hear a second? Alderman Kinsella to create no parking on the north side of North Church Street going from Lucinda to Sherman. Any further discussion? All in favor of this motion and have the proper ordinance drawn signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do you want to continue next one?
Yes, sir. The second motion is to put directional arrows on First Street directing traffic on which way to go, and add cross traffic does not stop at West A and North First Street. This one doesn't require an ordinance, but it's directional. I'll just go a little explanation if you don't mind.
It's
It's
a
two
little bit more
one-way
signage.
streets intersecting, and we're having people turn.
And this is an attempt to try to make, there's been a number of accidents there, and I think this is a good step. There are still a number of people who want to see an additional stop sign, and I think the engineer and the committee at this point is a little hesitant because of the backup distance stacking to Illinois Street, et cetera. But this will be I think a good next step to try to hopefully alleviate people from basically turning left from the right-hand lane, which is a lot of problem, I think. So we have a motion. Do I have here a motion to approve this? Motion was by Alderman White, second by Alderman Pusa. Any further discussion or explanation needed? All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Communications?
12A communication from Chris Kendall Market requesting to have opening ceremonies on November 25th, 2016 with entertainment and a laser light show.
Yeah, can we read them as a group?
12B communication from Belleville Holtznitzer Wood Carvers requesting to hang their banner for the wood carving exhibit and demonstration on November 5th through 6th, 2016. And 12C request from Eckerd Florist Incorporated to place a refrigerated cooler in one of their designated loading zones located in the first block of North 2nd Street from Sunday, October 9th, 2016, and removed on or before Saturday, October 23rd, 2016. And they will coordinate with the street department for cones and lighted barricades.
Move to be approved. Motion by Alderman Seibert. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, who is that? Alderman Gliddy? Okay, Alderman Gliddy, discussion? Yes, sir.
On your request, I thought last time when this was approved, we were talking about possibly buying a...
No, she is, and now the one cooler totally broke down, the oldest one. It's gone, so we are definitely in the advanced stages of doing it, but it's not cheap, and it's not easy to reconfigure the stuff to build a walking field. And so that's what needs to be done. But this just happened 3 weeks ago, so it's impossible in that short period of time. She tried to get parts for this one first and couldn't. So it's old. We got one walk-in, we need another one.
On the laser light show on November 25th for the band, and I haven't seen any ending time like we normally.
It'll be the regular time of the Chris Kendall Market. It'll be done before then. I mean, what time is that? 11?
No, 9 p.m.
9 p.m., I'm sorry, 9 p.m. I was thinking of the other festivals. So it's not going to be a late thing. Okay, then answer the questions? Okay, we have 3 communications. There was a motion to read them all together. All in favor of approving these communications signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Petitions, we have none. Resolutions, we have none. Ordinances, I'd ask for a motion to read by title only, ordinance number 7986 and 7987. Motion by Alderman Silsby, do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Pusa. All in favor of reading these 2 ordinances by title only and as a group, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
15A ordinance 7986 of 2016 is an ordinance regarding case number 34, September 16, Grappa Growlers. 15B ordinance 7987 of 2016, an ordinance amending chapter 52, traffic of the revised code of ordinances of the city of Belleville, Illinois, as amended by amending portions of sections thereof.
Motion to approve ordinance 79, 86, and 87.
Good motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Seibert to approve those 2 ordinances. Any additional comments? Roll call.
Hazel.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Pusa.
Aye.
Bittner.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Dillman.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Elmore.
Aye.
Wiggington. Musgrove.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have some unfinished business. Alderman White asked to put this on here. Alderman White?
Yes, sir, if you just indulge me for just a couple of minutes. These are just observations that I've made since being involved in the codification process. It seems to me to, in my position as an alderman, it seems to have come across a little bit fragmented and disgruntled. And I'm not presenting this as any problem with anybody involved in it. It's just an observation of a couple of the jobs that I've had and how they've been handled differently. And this is really only for information if somebody wants to use it. In the future, it's good. If not, take a nap for a second or 2. Okay, it was a long process. First of all, the contract was signed by the city back in October of 2014, and American Legal were doing the work in November of 2014. And it's progressed all the way through. The first estimate I could see of when it was going to be done, or the target date for completion, was September of 2015. And of course, I realized a lot of things happened in the meantime. And now we're in September of 2016. And I think we're still basically working on, I don't think it's been approved.
It's set to go to the ordinance on the 11th of October as the plan.
Right. Anyway, the only things I could find online were the draft code that was added in July of 15. Department responses, again, were posted, I think, probably June of 16. And the final codification was put on in our packets on the 15th of September of this year. And again, any of my comments are not meant to be critical, just suggestions from my observations in my time previous to being on this council. I was in the military for a long time. I was at 2 command level assignments and 1 headquarters Air Force assignment, and I also worked at a community college in Illinois. And these have been places that I've seen these things go through, and I think they've gone through a little smoother. And I'm just going to mention a couple things, the way they do things a little differently than what we did. From my observation in all of these places, the best way to get these things through was to assign a primary point of responsibility for the overall project itself. Okay. And this person, whoever gets that lucky job of being the contact, needs the authority to execute the assignment in its whole. That means that the executive of the organization needs to stand behind them. The contact is going to set the timeline, enforce the timeline, organize receiving the replies from everybody that have to give input from this project, like all the chapters of our code, for instance, let's say. And that person, the most important part of it, that person is doing this has to have the full backing of the people in charge to do it. Another part of it is the transparency of the project. The point of contact needs to keep in contact with everybody responsible for the review and the update. Make sure they're on track. Make sure that the schedule's made. and ensure transparency throughout the project. If things aren't going right, let us know. There's been some cases, I'll use codification for an example, but I've had suggestions, I didn't know exactly where to send them. So it did seem to me to be a centralized organizational fixture to get it to. Again, I say all this is from my perspective. We need transparency throughout the process to keep us informed of the objectives, the timeline, and how we're meeting the timeline. And I will say on our codification, there haven't been significant changes made. And I do believe there are more that could or should have been made, but I would try to end it with something positive. So I have to say the covers and the binders would really look a lot better this year. So anyway,
Well, let me just, I appreciate your comments. Let me just say that I don't think it was a secret. The lead person on this was our city attorney, because there was a lot of involvement with their legal staff of attorneys and Garrett Harner, and Garrett spent countless hours on the phone with them, back and forth on emails. So he was, I think, pretty well known to most of us that he was the lead liaison. Now, could the project have gone quicker, smoother? I would agree with you in retrospect. I think there's some things I would have probably tried to do a little different. It was longer, more cumbersome. Some of it was probably our delays, some of it was their delays. But everybody does have a finished book now. I'm with you. It's always going to be a work in progress. It's always going to be evolving and changing. But there was significant updates made to some very old ordinances that were, they were looked at as far as best practice, et cetera. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's been a very long, arduous project. But if we had to do it over tomorrow, I do know when we get ready to do the zoning portion of it, maybe next year or the following year, that lady in the middle of the room back here on this side will probably be given the task to be the point person as the director of zoning and economic development to take that lead. But I think, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it and hopefully learn something from this project. But you all should have your books. Unless something changes per Garrett, who's sick tonight, couldn't be here. I believe he and Roger usually set the agenda for ordinance, and I believe it's planning to come to ordinance. If any of you have questions, concerns, you're welcome to come to ordinance, but it should be there for consideration of a vote on October 11th, right? Is that the date? Right. And then it would come to council after that. Okay? Thank you for your comments. We now move to miscellaneous and new business. Motor fuel claims in the amount of $1,303.71. What's your pleasure? Alderman Seibert makes the motion to approve. Do I hear second? Second, Alderman Diddleman. Discussion on motor fuel. Roll call.
Hazel. Aye. Kinsella. Aye. Pusa. Aye. Bittner. Aye. Randall. Aye. Tyler. Aye. Anthony. Aye. Silsby. Aye. Diddleman. Aye. Seibert. Aye. White. Aye. Galletti. Aye. Elmore. Aye. Wiggington. Aye. Musgrove. Aye. Motion carried. I ask for a motion to go into executive session. Primarily, we just have a workman's comp case tonight. I don't know of anything else. Does anybody? Motion by Alderman Elmore to go in there. Second by Alderman Wiggington to go into executive session. We have one of the attorneys here tonight to explain and discuss with us a workman's compensation settlement. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would give us a few minutes, Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in open session. We had a discussion about a workman's comp claim at this time. I'd ask for a motion to allow the mayor to sign, once they get it ready, the final settlement, a settlement to deal with a former sanitation worker for a workman's comp settlement, understanding that due to the ongoing claim this year at this time would be actually paid by the insurance company. And I just need a motion to go ahead and proceed as the paperwork's drawn up that we can settle. Motion by Alderman Randall, second by Alderman Elmore. Is there any further discussion? Roll call. Hazel. Aye. Kinsella. Aye. Lucy. Aye. Bittner. Aye. Randall. Aye. Tyler. Aye. Anthony. Aye. Silsby. Aye. Dendelman. Aye. Seibert. Aye. White. Aye. Galletti. Aye. Elmore. Aye. Wiggington. Aye. Musgrove. Aye. Motion carries. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion by, he beat you. Motion by Wiggington, second by Galletti. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.